Hi everyone, I'm Gina Kay from Gina Kay Designs and your host of Stamp TV. I'd like to welcome you to our release party presentation. Today you will get to see many of the new products being released in action right here in this video presentation, along with some useful tools. At any time, feel free to click on the links below this screen to play along with our contest questions, challenges, and to see all of the stamp sets in full along with the beautiful samples created by our design team especially for you. The techniques from today's release party presentation will be archived in our videos section at Stamp TV for viewing whenever you like. And if you're the partying type, we have a party chat thread going strong where you can hang out with me and the design team from now until 1 p.m. Central Time today. And the best news is, all of the products are available in our store at GinaKDesigns.com. So you don't have to wait around until 1 o'clock to place your order. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's release party presentation. The new stamp set Sweet Strawberries by Teresa Momber is packed with plump, sun-ripened berries and more that will help you create all kinds of greeting cards and even labels for your jams and jellies when you mix them with some of our label stamps. The first technique I want to show you today is the way I like to color the large bunch of strawberries from this beautifully hand-drawn set. Let me show you the tools and products you need to do this technique. First, you're going to need that large bunch of strawberry stamps from the new set, Sweet Strawberries. Then you're going to need a black ink pad, preferably a Memento Tuxedo Black or a StazOn Black pad, because those two types of ink pads work beautifully with colored pencils and Gamsol. Then you're going to need some blending stumps, and I'm using, as you can see, a very well-loved blending stump. This is one of the stumps that we carry at Gina Kay Designs. You're going to need a Copic marker for some outside shading. Now, only use the Copic marker part if you're going to use Memento ink or another ink that's safe to use with Copic markers. If you use StazOn ink, the StazOn will run, so you might want to do the shading technique with a colored pencil instead of a marker. This particular Copic marker is BG10, and that's called Cool Shadow. Then you're going to need some colored pencils, and I have a variety of colored pencils here, and they're not even all from the same brand, but that's okay. You can mix colored pencils as long as you're not trying to mix in a watercolored pencil to do this technique. You need a waxy pencil. So the first color I'm using is by Prismacolor, and this one is called Crimson Lake. Then I have some Faber-Castell pencils here. The green one is called Olive Green Yellowish. The yellow one is called Dark Cadmium Yellow, and the red one is called Scarlet Red. So to begin, I'm going to stamp on some of the Gina Kay Designs Pure Luxury 80-pound white cardstock. And if you've never tried our white cardstock, it is absolutely my favorite cardstock for any kind of colored pencil work. It's so super smooth that the Gamsol and the blending stump just glide right over it. You'll be so surprised if you've never tried it. The first time you use it, you'll be hooked. Now I've inked up that stamp, and I'm going to stamp that right here in the middle of this piece of cardstock. You can see it's such a big stamp, I had to put it on an angle on this block. I love big stamps like that. And look at how nice and crisp and clean it stamps. Cover up my ink pad here. Now, many of you have seen me do this before. I like to put my Gamsol in one of these pumps. And the reason why I like to do that is because I'm kind of a out of sight, out of mind kind of girl. So if my Gamsol is tucked away in the cabinet, I don't think to use it. With the jar, it's right out on my desk all of the time. And when I'm thinking about coloring, I see it and I think, sure, that's easy. All you have to do is open the lid and you just pump on the cap like that, and the Gamsol fills up into the cup. Then when you're all done, you just flip the lid shut, and that prevents Gamsol from evaporating. Now this is not meant for traveling, so if you like to travel with your Gamsol, you're going to have to use some spill-proof container. But this is great for home use, perfect for sitting on your desktop, and it makes your Gamsol and colored pencils ready to go at any time. So my first step, though, is to use the Cool Shadow. What I want to do is go around the entire surface of the entire perimeter of this design with the Cool Shadow. And the reason why I do that first is because I really don't want to get any wax on the tip of my Copic marker, because that could damage the marker. So if you're going to do mixed media work where you're using markers and pencils, do the marker part first. So all I'm doing here is just coloring a nice shadow right around the perimeter. And you know, even when you're working with all Copic markers, because Copic markers blend really well with other Copic markers, if you do this part of your shading first, you're less apt to grab color off of your focal image and pull it off into the shadow and make it bleed around the edges. So you can see how I'm not worrying too much about making it perfect. I just want to create a glow. And this Cool Shadow really creates a pretty glow. I remember seeing this for the first time and not knowing what it was, and trying to figure out how the person who created that artwork made their project just glow and pop off the page like that. And then when I found out how easy it was, that it was just a little bit of a very pale turquoise color, well, the first thing I did was grab my markers and try it. And boy, it makes a huge difference. So you're going to go all around the perimeter, just like that. Now I'm not going to color this entire design for you. I'm just going to color a few of the parts, and then I'm going to show you my finished card project. Because once you see one strawberry colored, you can color them all. And there, I've gone around the outside. I also like to fill in a little bit on the inside areas so that everything's covered. And there, now that design is just kind of glowing there. So let's start with this bigger strawberry. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use that darker pencil, and that's the Prismacolor pencil, the Crimson Lake. And I'm going to color just around the perimeter of the strawberry. And this Crimson Lake color is beautiful, but it's got a lot of pink in it. So once I get that all laid down and blended, I'm going to add some of that scarlet red to give it even a brighter look. And you can see I'm just coloring around the perimeter, not coloring in the whole strawberry. And for those of you who have never tried this technique and have watched it a million times, now's the time to give it a try. You will not be sorry. This technique is so easy, it's so user-friendly, and it makes anybody look like an artist. And I know you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, so there, I've colored around the perimeter of the strawberry. Now, I'm going to dip the side that I already used in red into my Gamsol, and I want to get that blending stump nice and wet. It's not just a dip in and go. You want to saturate the tip of the blending stump, or else you're not going to get the color to move very well. So you can see I held it in there for a little while. And now, using a circular motion, I'm going to start to work that color toward the center. And you can see I'm going around the perimeter the same way that I colored. I don't want to go right across the center, because as I get closer to the center, that color is going to get lighter. And that's going to create the look of a highlight, where the light would be reflecting off of maybe the center of that strawberry. You can see I'm continuing to color in a circular motion. Now, if you feel like the blending stump is getting a little bit dry or it's squeaking a little bit, it's time to re-wet it. And then you can go back over some of that colored area to bring more color toward the center if it's getting a little bit shallow. And then when I get to the center, I'm just going to kind of squiggle in back and forth. You can see, created just a pretty little highlight there in the center. See that? Now I'm going to add some of that brighter red. And this one is the Scarlet Red, the Faber-Castell pencil. And I'm going to color right over that same area around the perimeter. And you can see that is definitely a brighter red. Just going to do the sides there, like that. And now, again, dipping that blending stump into the Gamsol. I'm really getting it nice and wet. I'm going to color over, I'm going to blend over that darker red and bring that into the center more. And that gives you a much brighter strawberry. And then for my last color on this berry, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in the center. So, but I'm not going to color it right down the center line. I'm going to actually color a little bit on each side of the center, like that. And then using the red again, the red side of the blending stump, I'm going to blend that in just to add another dimension of color in there. Still leaving some of that shallow white area showing in the center. Now I'm going to add some green to the leaves, and again doing that the same way. I'm just going to color around the perimeter of the leaves. And there are areas on the focal image that you may not want to blend at all. Like when you're coloring in the stems, you may just want to do the colored pencil and not use the Gamsol because you really don't have much shading or blending to do there. Now I'm going to flip that blending stump around and use the other side and wet that real well. And then doing the same thing in a circular motion, I'm going to bring that green toward the center. And you can see as it's getting lighter, it brings out more of the highlight color in the particular pencil. Some greens are blue based, some greens are yellow based, and this one's a little more yellow based, so you can see it gets a little more yellow as it gets to the center. And there we have a nice shaded leaf. And what's nice about all that is we've already done the shading on the outside, so you don't have to worry about smearing anything that you've already worked on. Now let me show you my finished card project that I did using this technique. And you can see some of the coloring work in this. Here is my finished card using that beautiful new set, and this is a greeting from that set as well. And I stamped that onto one of the Spellbinders grommet tags and just added a couple little quicklets in there, black quicklets to offset some of the black, play up on that. And I used one of our brand new pattern papers, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit. This is our brand new pattern paper pack called Berries and Vines. And what a perfect time to release this beautiful pattern paper right in the early part of late spring, early part of summer, so that you can make all these beautiful strawberry projects and use this paper to coordinate with it. I just sponged a little bit of pale blue ink onto the center there to play up on the pale blue that is in the background paper here. And there you have a beautiful, sweet birthday card. With summer just around the corner, you can create birthday cards with tall strawberry daiquiris or cute little place cards for your next summer picnic. With sweet strawberries in your collection, the possibilities are endless. Two of my favorite stamp sets by Melanie Menchinger are her holiday basket and spring basket designs. I love baskets and I use them to store just about everything in my house and craft room. And now Melanie has created another one of her fabulous basket edition stamp sets called Basket Editions 2. This set is filled with all kinds of spring and summer things that everyone loves to store in baskets. From baby supplies to birthday gifts, to beach toys and gardening supplies, you'll be able to make baskets of cards for tons of occasions. I want to show you how easy it is to fill a basket with these fun basket additions using the Stamp-A-Majig for perfect placement. And the great news is, whether you have the holiday basket set or the spring basket set, all of Melanie's basket fillers will fit perfectly in either one. So let me show you how we're going to add one of these fillers into a basket. The basket I've chosen is the holiday basket. I like this one. It reminds me a lot of some of the Longaberger baskets that I have in my house. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the ivory cardstock and a little bit of Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to start by stamping the basket a little bit low on this piece of cardstock. There we go. And look at that nice, crisp, clean image. Isn't that gorgeous? Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the imaging sheet using the Stamp-A-Majig for the basket edition that I want to use. And the one that I'm going to fill my basket with is this cute little gardening set. I think it's the perfect time of the year for cards for some of the gardeners that I have in my life. And I can turn this card into a little birthday card or a thank you card just by adding the right greeting. So I'm going to start by inking up the stamp and then placing the imaging sheet and tool together and stamping right in the corner there. Now I've created the image of the little Basket Additions gardening set. And now I'm going to place that right on top here of exactly where I want to see that. And you see how easily that just slips right in there? Ooh, I just love that. And then replace the tool. Now you have perfect placement. And I'm going to ink up that stamp one more time. Check that again. And remove the imaging sheet. And now I'm going to stamp it right again in that little corner of the tool. And there we go. All of my little garden accessories are placed perfectly inside that basket. Wasn't that easy? And you can do that with all of the basket filler sets that Melanie has, her Basket Buddies and the Basket Editions 1 and so many more. So you should check out our website and see how many different things you can put in these baskets and how easy it is to place them. Now I want to show you how I color this basket. I love coloring these baskets with Copic markers because it is the easiest thing to do and it makes you look so talented. Okay, the color that I have here is light walnut. It's E57. And I'm going to start with the chisel edge. And I'm just going to scribble that ink all over this basket just to get that brown layer down. Now, there are lots of Copic marker specialists out there that will teach you beautiful ways to blend. But I'm going to teach you just how to create some shading. Maybe it's not the correct way, but it's the way I do it, and it's certainly easy and it's certainly fun. Now I'm using my pointed end, the precision end of my Copic Original marker. Now if you don't have Copic Original markers, maybe you have Copic sketch markers or you have the Chows, or maybe you don't even have Copic markers at all. Maybe you're using Bic markers or Prismacolor markers or one of the other alcohol markers that are available on the market. Same technique will work. So just get the color all over the basket and don't worry too much about the shading. We're going to create a beautifully aged looking basket just using a Copic blender pen. Let me color the little bottom here. And the top too. Okay, so now I have nice brown all over this basket, and you can see it's not colored with any shading or anything fancy. But when I take this Copic blender pen, and that is you can use a sketch, you can use a Chow, or you can use the original. I'm going to use the chisel side of the original. I'm going to start by just rubbing this right over this area of the basket to create some roughness. And then I'm going to rub it all over every other little box on this basket. And I'm just pulling some color off, and that's just creating an aged look. And I'm just kind of doing it right in the center there. I'm not going all the way to the edges so that it looks like the stain is still kind of hung up in the edges, but it's wearing away on the surface. And then the bottom one's the same way. And don't worry if some are a little more worn than others. That's the way it would be in real life. Now I'm going to do the same thing to these, but I'm going to kind of go up and down like this. These are the opposite ones. You can do this. This is so easy to do. It doesn't take any skill at all. It's just rubbing a marker up and down on your cardstock. And then if you want to add a little bit more wearing away, just color it so it's, with that blender pen, it pulls that color right off and it just makes it look so aged. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Just looks like an old aged Longaberger basket. Okay, so next I'd like to introduce a brand new must-have basic by Gina K Designs called Lacy Borders. Look at this beautiful stamp set. Isn't that pretty? Look at all those lacy borders. You'll be amazed at the different ways you can use this set. Not only will it create elegant lace borders around your focal images and photographs, but you can add lacy ruffles to your dress stamps, pretty valances to window cards, and even a pretty ruffle around a basket, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of black onyx cardstock, and I'm going to use an anti-static pad to remove any of the static and also any of the surface oil that might be on my skin. There we go. And now I have this large lacy border stamp on a block, and I've lined it up pretty well with one of the lines, the grid lines that are on this block, so it should stamp fairly straight. And I'm going to ink that up using a little bit of Versamark ink. And I'm going to stamp that right along the edge. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way and stamp it backwards, right along the edge, or upside down rather, of this black onyx cardstock. There we go. And a little bit of light pressure all the way across, because it is a delicate stamp and it does have a lot of detail, and you don't really want too many shallow edges, shallow areas. Okay, so now I have my lacy border stamped in Versamark. Difficult to see, but once the embossing powder hits it, you're going to see all of the pretty detail come through. I'm using a little bit of the Stampendous Superfine Detail White Powder, and you definitely want to use a fine detail white powder with these stamps because there's so much beautiful detail in them. And if you use a regular embossing powder, when the heat gun hits it, the powder will swell up so much that you'll lose all the detail. And now I'm going to blow away any excess. And you can see how pretty that is. Look at that delicate lace. So let me return this powder into my jar and grab my heat tool. I'm using the Marvy heat tool, and emboss this. Now with any fine detail powder, once it starts to change from that kind of dull gritty look to a shiny detailed look, you do want to move to the next area. You don't want to burn the powder because it is delicate and it can burn kind of easily. I'll just go back over it a little bit and make sure I haven't missed any spots. go. And take a look at how pretty and detailed that is. Isn't that lovely? I love it. Okay, so I've cut a little piece of black cardstock here that's about the same width as the top of my basket. And I'm going to use that as a guide to trim the lace, or to know where to trim the lace. Because the lace is going to be trimmed not straight down, but it's going to flare out a little bit. So you need to know where to put your cut mark, where to start. So I want to kind of line this up so it's a little bit even. So I'm going to use these two lumps right here and position my card right about there. Okay, so you can see that's pretty even. Grab that better. Okay. And now, starting right at that corner point, I'm going to cut on an angle down to that V, like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Starting at that corner point, I'm going to cut down to the V. And when I mean the V, I mean the little area where one loop ends and the next loop starts, that little V point right in there. Okay? So now I can get rid of this excess that I won't be needing. And now I've created a little flared out lace. And then very quickly I want to just trim around, and I don't have to trim right up against it. I can leave a little margin there of black. Actually, kind of want to do that because it really gives it a nice shadow effect. And I'm just trimming around. Let me get this bulky piece out of the way. There we go. And this really doesn't take very long to do. And there we go. Now I've got this pretty little piece of lace here. Now, it depends what you like. I like the lace to be very thin, so I'm going to trim it down along this border. I want the lace to be thin at the top. I like the thicker border for when I'm using it as a border or I'm using it for around a frame, but when it comes to a lace basket topper, I just want to have it just like that. And there is my little topper for my basket. Isn't that cute? And you can glue that down with either mono adhesive, or you can use a little bit of score tape, whatever you want. If you want it raised up, you can put it on some 1/4-inch pop dots. But that just looks like real lace to me. It's so pretty. Now let me show you my finished card project now that we've done all of that basket work. Here is my finished card project. And what you're seeing here is a brand new patterned paper, and this is called Poppy Prints. And all of the cardstock on this card, also other than the ivory, comes from the Poppy Prints cardstock collection. And you can see I've colored all the little things in my basket here with different Copic markers, and I actually used another one of the pattern papers from the Poppy Prints set, and I paper pieced the glove. You can paper piece the glove with flowers or whatever kind of print that you like, but I thought that one looked kind of cute. And then, although it is a little bit difficult to see, you probably could see a little bit of the shine. I added a little Sakura Stardust pen onto the watering can to give it a little bit more of a metallic feel. And you probably can see that. And then just popped that little panel onto some of the Red Hot cardstock and onto my card base, and then I used a couple of the different greetings from the new Basket Editions 2 stamp set to create my greeting. Melanie has divided these up so you can say enjoy your, and then there's different choices to add to that. I put enjoy your birthday, and this would be a perfect birthday card for one of my friends who loves to garden. The new Basket Editions 2 stamp set is a great way to bring life back to your basket stamps, and the Lacy Border stamp set will help decorate many of your cards and scrapbook pages with delicate style. Thousands of you have tried our Pure Luxury 6x6 pattern paper packs over the last few months, and you've given us rave reviews for quality, color, and style. We want to say thank you to all of you for such a warm reception. And today we have 3 brand new pattern paper packs and coordinating cardstock packs that we know you're going to love. The first one is the new Berries and Vine pattern paper pack. Full of beautiful berries and different types of vines, this color palette is just beautiful, and let me show you the coordinating cardstock colors that go with this. First, we have our black onyx. Then, for the green, it's our fresh asparagus. Then this gorgeous ocean mist, and, of course, berries wouldn't be the same without some red hot. So that is the Berries and Vines pattern paper pack and cardstock assortment. The next pattern paper pack I want to show you is our brand new Sunshiny Day. You're going to love this one. It just reminds you of a beautiful spring day with soft pastel colors and these beautiful graphics that almost look like the sun bursting. Let me show you the beautiful palette that goes with this. First, we have some of our jelly bean green. And then we have some bubblegum. And then we have our sweet corn. And then we have a brand new color, and this is called dark chocolate. Now, dark chocolate will be replacing our chocolate brown. And the reason why we're doing that is because our old chocolate brown, and I'm going to show you the difference here. It might be even hard to tell. They're so close. But here's our old chocolate brown, and then here's our new dark chocolate. Now, the big difference between the old chocolate brown and the new dark chocolate is the old chocolate brown had a lot of red in it. It had a red base. And although it was a beautiful chocolate brown color, it didn't match a lot of our ribbons and some of the ink pads that we carry, and we really wanted that complete coordination for you. So we went with a true dark brown. So this is our dark chocolate. And what's exciting about that is coming soon in the near future, we have a new color called milk chocolate, and you're going to love that one when it debuts. You're going to see some changes to our Pure Luxury cardstock line coming over the next few months. We're updating our color palette, we're bringing in some new fabulous colors, and a few of our older colors are going to retire. But we promise you that when you see our new color palette, you're going to be so impressed, and you're going to love all the beautiful pattern papers that coordinate with it. Now let me show you our very last pattern paper pack that we are releasing. This is one of my favorites. This is called Poppy Prints. And Poppy Prints is full of beautiful bright red flowers, some poppies, bold poppies, and then some really fun prints, little graphic dots and plaids, and they all coordinate so beautifully. Let me show you the color palette that goes with this. The first one is our grass green. That's in the little leaves in the poppy flowers. And then we have our moonlit fog. That is that beautiful bluish gray. We have some sweet corn. And then, of course, you need the brightest poppy red you can get, and that's our red hot. And you can see how beautifully that all coordinates together. Our Pure Luxury pattern paper packs and cardstock assortments make creating cards and scrapbook pages easy because all of the color coordination is done, and you know you're getting top quality, acid-free products that will bring out the artist in you. You've seen 3 of our new stamp sets in action, but we have 2 other new stamp sets that we know you're going to love. And you will see these stamp sets in action in the coming weeks in featured projects on Stamp TV. First, I want to show you the beautiful new stamp set by Tammy Mayberry called Vintage Notes. I'm in love with this style stamp set, and Tammy has outdone herself with the whole idea of this stamp set. This stamp set coordinates with the new Spellbinders Office Supplies die set, and fortunately, we were able to get them in just in time for our release party. So I didn't get a chance to play with this set yet because I was waiting for those dies to come. But now that I have my set, I know I'm going to be playing with this set right away, and I'll be able to show you some fabulous things you can do with it. This beautiful little writing block here fits perfectly in that Spellbinder's main die in the office supply set, so that you can cut that out, and it's got the little top piece that looks like it should be in a coil. So cute. And then all these cute little top secret, take note, a little reminder. You can make beautiful cards for your friends and family, but one of the things that I'm excited about is I think this is going to make a fantastic journaling block for scrapbooking. And I love using stamps in scrapbooking when they're stamp sets that can be used over and over again for so many different kinds of themes. It's not like a stamp that is so unique that you can only use it in one page. You can use this for journaling over and over again. Think about grandparents and some of the older people in your life and the memories you want to preserve. The vintage look is just perfect for that. So this is a must-have on my list, and I'm so glad I have my dies to go with it. So look forward to some projects coming up soon on Stamp TV using this set. Then, I want to show you the new One Free with 3. Everybody gets so excited over this one each month. This one is called One in a Million. It's got this beautiful bunch of flowers here, and they're real whimsical and fun. And then it's got some really pretty sayings in here, like, thinking of you makes me smile, have a happy day, friends like you are one in a million. I love these sayings because they're not sayings that you find in too many stamp sets, but they're the type of sayings that would come from your heart. So the 1 in a Million stamp set is the One Free with 3 this month. Now what does that mean? If you're new to Gina K Designs, whenever you purchase any 3 stamp sets, and they need to be full-size stamp sets, those are usually priced around $19.95 and up. When you purchase 3 in one order, you get our One Free with 3 for free, and it's a $19.95 value. Now we do have some smaller stamp sets in our collection. We have some little duos and even some single stamps. Well, if you want to add those to your order, 3 of those counts as one full-size stamp set for this promotion. I think you're going to love having this one in your collection. These greetings alone are just so fabulous. You can mix and match them with other stamps you have in your craft room already. And with so many fun stamp sets to choose from, springtime is the perfect time for getting inky with Gina K Designs. I hope you've enjoyed today's release party presentation video. The design team and I will be hanging around until 1 o'clock in the release party chat thread at the link below the screen. And the contests, challenges, and full stamp set reveal links will stay live until Monday, when we choose the winners of our contest questions and challenges. Those winners will each receive a grab bag of over a dozen deeply etched, pre-cut Gina K Designs rubber stamps. And now that you've seen some fun projects that you can make, you can visit our store at www.ginakdesigns.com. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and we'll see you back here soon at Stamp TV.